Welcome to the Biology Research Semester Virtual Info Session. Today we're going to go over some of the nuts and bolts of the Biology Research Semester, how to apply, how to pick your advisors, how to do a whole slew of things that relate to being in the research semester. Let's get started. What is the research semester? So the research semester is a semester-long program that allows students to get involved and immersed in ongoing scientific research in the College of Science and George Mason University. Participants register for 12 to 15 credits and work side by side with full-time with researchers working in the field at Mason and at external research sites. This work can be in a lab or a research facility, in the field, online, or all of the above. This experience is very much driven by the researcher you choose to research with. I thought I would share what research is, a quick definition. Research is defined as the creation of new knowledge and or the use of existing knowledge in a new and creative way as to generate new concepts, methodologies, and understandings. This could include synthesis and analysis of previous research to the extent that it leads to new and creative outcomes. I wanted to include this definition because as you join in on these existing labs, which have had projects running for years, some very new, I wanted you to get the idea that you are adding to this researcher's pool of knowledge. What are some of the benefits of the research semester? So, of course, you'll be immersed in full-time research project while earning 12 to 15 elective credits towards your degree requirement. You'll have the chance to network with distinguished research faculty and research labs in the area of your interest. You'll have the opportunity to present your research in public. That's at our research semester event at the end of the semester, as well as possibly at regional or national scientific meetings. You'll also have funding to support your research from the College of Science and or the Students and Scholars Program, and I'll get into that a little bit later. So, am I eligible for the research semester? To qualify, you must have a declared major in the College of Science. You don't have to be a biology major, but it's certainly helpful because we have a lot of biology researchers. You must have at least a 3.0 GPA in your science courses. Now, if you're kind of flailing with your general electives or things like that, you can kind of look in your degree works and that'll help you see if maybe in your science courses you have the required GPA as opposed to, maybe your English score isn't quite as high. We must have you successfully complete at minimum Bio 213, cell function and structure, Bio 214, biostatistics, Chem 211 and 212, which I think is general chemistry, and at least one of the following courses: Bio 300, biodiversity, Bio 308, foundation, ecology and evolution, or Bio 311, general genetics. Courses should be completed by the beginning of the fall semester, which means that if you haven't taken these courses yet, you have until the summer before to achieve those courses with a satisfactory grade. Some projects do require stricter criteria. That would be bioengineering might have certain software that they're looking for, but researchers will talk to you about that when you get into the interview phase. There's a quick warning here. We might not be able to work around employment, especially if you're a full-time employee somewhere. This is a full-time program, but we hope this doesn't dissuade you from applying. We just wanted to give you a heads up that you are going to be working full-time with this research team. So who would you work with? Well, that depends on you and your researcher's pick. A major part of the research semester is networking with researchers, and also known as primary investigators. In the application process, you pick your top 3 PI choices. Once you are admitted, you will go through an interview process with your selected PIs. Ultimately, at the end of the day, the PI decides who they will work with, but it's a whole process to get to that point. And I just wanted to show you here where our researchers are from. As I was saying, 29% are coming from the biology department, but 16% are coming from bioengineering, 13% from SSB, and a whole slew of other places like ESP, biochemistry, College of Health and Human Sciences, as well as a few external sites, which are pretty exciting, and I'll get to that in a second. How do I pick my top 3 PIs? Well, we have a diverse selection of researchers and research centers. It really comes down to personal preference. You should consider what are your goals, what research areas interest you, or maybe you want to try something completely different and new to see what it's like. We implore you to investigate our researchers on our website here. On our research semester page, you could see a link down here that says list of research projects and faculty mentors, which will give you an overview of everybody's research and what they're recruiting for. I'd also encourage you to look at the faculty pages on the College of Science website, as well as their social medias and Google, because you might find that you have other things in common that might help you network with those researchers. And obviously, you can reach out to those researchers via email or social media to visit or volunteer in a lab. But we want to make sure that you are looking at these researchers in other ways before reaching out to them, so you have something to talk about when you email them. That said, you are in this beautiful presentation, which has every single researcher here with a kind of a little synopsis of what they're doing. So let's say you are interested in birds. Maybe you want to consider Dr. Lim's Bird Songs from Tropical Asia project. Or maybe you're more into, medicine and antibiotics. Then maybe you want to consider looking at Dr. Couch's research on antibiotic development, or Dr. Baranova's research on metabolic disease research. And if you're into like environmental science or animals, you could look at Dr. Elizabeth Freeman's research on rhinoceros behavior, or Dr. Hunt's research on hormone patterns in whale, baleen, antelope horns, and narwhal tusks. We have a whole slew of options for you to look through, and it goes way more in depth in the document on our website. But at least here you can visualize, oh, I really want to look at, intercellular communication with Dr. Hakami, or forest ecosystems with Dr. Luther. At this point, with 31 research options, I hope that you find a researcher that appeals, and you can choose them when you apply for the research semester. So now I'm accepted. Let's say you go through the process, you've picked your top 3 choices, you've submitted your resume and your personal statement. What happens next? So once you're selected in the program, you'll go through an interview process with those selected researchers. You will reach out to your preferred researcher, and depending on what they're looking for, they'll set up a time with you for an interview. If you find a match, you will be accepted into the lab and produce a contract with that researcher, and you will start the process of enrolling via CRN into Bio 499 and the other 2 classes, which I'll get into very shortly. I want to preface this, most students find a match, but there may still be opportunities if your top choices don't work out. That's why I implore you to keep looking at those researchers, maybe even have a top 5. So pick your top 3 and then have 2 backups if something happens, or you want to just keep your options open in case something doesn't work out. This process is mostly handled between you, the researcher, and the RS administrators. That's me, Dr. Lamersall, and Shakiba Salihan, and it happens primarily during the summer between May and August. So if you are accepted into the program, the one thing that I must preface, stay connected to your Mason email over the summer. So what will your schedule look like? So if you're accepted into the research semester, you're going to enroll in 12 to 15 elective credits. That's Bio 498 Research Seminar, which is 2 credits, a lecture 1 day a week, and Bio 314, a 4 credit course, which is lecture recitation 2 days a week. These typically happen on Mondays and Wednesday. So the rest of your week is dedicated to research with your researcher. You're expected to schedule a minimum of 27 hours per week to your research project. So besides those 2 classes on Monday and Wednesday, you will need to keep your schedule as clear as you can to accommodate these 27 hours of research. And that actually could be more depending on how dedicated or what the need is the researcher wants. You are allowed 1 class in addition to the research semester schedule, and this is for our folks who might need like Bio 308, or they're a senior and they need this class to graduate. We made it so that there is some flexibility if you need to take that additional class, and you'll go into that a little bit more with the researcher when you get to that point. So how much does this cost? Are there scholarships? Luckily, the research semester is set up like a normal semester where you register for classes as usual and pay tuition as normal without any extra cost. This is not something that we provide tuition-based scholarship for, but we do fund your projects. That means that the cost of materials, the poster at the end of the semester, all these different things that might crop up while you're doing your research is covered by the department. So there shouldn't be any out-of-pocket expense to the student in the research semester. That leads us to the awards. So at the end of the semester, research semester students participate in a poster presentation. This is normally in late November, early December. You present your findings, and we have a panel of faculty and researchers come in and judge your projects on specific criteria. As you can see, sometimes we have this at the Center for the Arts. Other times we've had it at the Johnson Center or the Hub Ballroom. But typically it's a fair where you dress up, you present your poster to anybody who comes into the room, and it's really fancy. And it leads to the awards, which is the project that best fulfills the criteria are presented awards and prizes at the end of the event and are invited to the award celebration at the end of the spring semester. So if you want a prize in 2022, then you are invited to come to an event in May. That's regardless of if you graduated in fall. And we award one participant with the best scored project around $500, and 1 to 2 honorable mentions receive $200. And that's subject to change. And our most special scholarship is for a rising senior who gets a scholarship towards their senior year and the chance to present at the Virginia Arts and Science Conference in March and April. So when you go to apply, we want you to be prepared. So you should have your G number and GPA ready. I'd also recommend having your Patriot Web transcript up, just so you can double check to see if you have all the prerequisites like 308 or 213, those sort of things. Be prepared, have potential conflicts, tentative schedule. That's anything that could be like, I know I am not available Thursday in the afternoon because I am, doing soccer duty with my children, or I'm helping my dad that day. Those kind of conflicts need to come in, and that this is where you put it. There's a little space for it in the application. So if you have a tentative schedule for fall, make sure to include it there. And then obviously, like I've said before, your top 3 PI choices. Please research, and pick your top 3, and don't pick one person more than once. So what I mean by that is, in the form, there's a possibility where you can go Dr. Hakami, Dr. Hakami, Dr. Hakami. that will not improve your chances of working with that person. You should have 3 different choices in those categories. So, go down the applications for fall 2023 on our research semester page, and you're going to click apply to the research semester, or it might be a little bit different wording at the very bottom of the page. Once you finish the application, you will need to submit 2 more items via email. That'll be your resume and your personal statement. Now, your resume doesn't have to be too in depth or too crazy. We're not looking for somebody with 5 years of experience, obviously. What we're looking for is your research experience, maybe certain programs you've done at the school, maybe some internship programs you've done. Just we want to get a feel of who you are. So this is an entry level resume. Don't fret too much. Just put in there what you've done. And then finally, your personal statement, 500 words or less, Word document, describe why you would like to participate in the biology research semester and what your future goals are. If you have any questions, problems, concerns with any of these, feel free to reach out to us and we can help you a little bit with some of the nuts and bolts. So, all that said, I'd like to thank you guys for attending today. And if you have any questions, concerns, anything after this meeting, please consider emailing us at bioresearch@gmu.edu. That's BIOLRSCH@gmu.edu. A link to our research semester page has been included in the description below. Please let us know if you have any further questions, and we hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for attending our webinar.